But now back to the MSNBC interview. Here she is speaking about these two particular debates and adding to the list of horrible things about her true lack of accountability.
So I would say the most contentious point of agreement was that across all of the claims, because you have to make 4 claims, then you're debating things that are undebatable, but that's another combo for another time. They all seem to keep coming back to black people are the problem with black people. There was simply no concept of cause and effect, of the continued oppressive behaviors and legislation. You know, we just had Tremaine here 2 seconds ago talking about the ways in which we are still continuing to see systemic racism experienced across the nation. And they just failed to regard that as anything of impact. And it didn't matter how many examples I gave. I would say the surprise point of agreement was actually more of a surprise for them than me, because the last person, you argue a claim that they have, and they had a claim that black people should leave the Democratic Party. And I let him talk, and I let him talk, and then I said, I agree.
And this is why I said at the onset of this episode, this woman's worst characteristic, in my opinion, is her desire to be a professional victim. Everything is the white man's fault. How dare you even suggest that black people should be held accountable for their own behavior? People like this thrive on the sympathy of others. They love other people feeling sorry for them. They relish in people telling them just how exceptional and special and amazing they are based on their skin color, because they're actually none of those things. And she's really upset at these other black people because they believe that they can achieve and succeed on their own merits. Think about how crazy that is, how self-destructive that is. How could an entire demographic of people ever be well off if they adopt that mindset in mass? Like, the truly perplexing thing about black liberals conversing with black conservatives, and I've experienced this so many times, they look at the conservatives as disgusting race traitors simply because you believe in yourself, simply because you believe there are no systemic barriers holding you back. Or at the bare minimum, they're not as prevalent as they were 60 years ago or 100 years ago. We're looked at as evil, vile Uncle Toms because we acknowledge the reality that we've had a black president. There are black governors. There are black mayors. There are black congressmen. There are black doctors. There are black scientists. There are black engineers. There are black real estate investors. There are black billionaires. There are black movie stars. There are black musicians. There are black athletes. Somebody tell me where in American life it's impossible for a black person to succeed. And then when you tell them this reality, they start incoherently rambling in the most victim way about how something that happened 250 years ago is now supposed to affect what you're able to achieve today. And you either believe that your life is in your own control or it's not. And if you adopt this mindset that there are all these systemic and institutional and societal hurdles that you can never overcome because you have the wrong skin color, then what's your incentive or motivation to even try in the first place? The only way people progress and succeed and learn in life is by failing, and failing often. And through those failures and that reflection and that accountability, you look inward and figure out how you can be better. But if your mindset is to conclude that every failure in life that you experience is not due to your own incompetence, but it's due to some external force that you can't control, then it robs you of the entire process of getting better. That's why critical race theory being taught to children is so destructive and racist, especially to the black children. You are telling these kids who are just getting started in life with all these ambitions and aspirations and dreams that none of them are possible because of their skin color, even though that's not the reality they live in. You tell them they're inherently inferior to their white counterparts. What do you think that does to a 6 or a 7-year-old black kid who wants to be an engineer or a scientist? They start thinking that's an impossible dream for them to have because all of of these people that they're relying on to guide them through life are telling them that it's going to be impossible because of their skin color. So all they have to look at are the famous examples of black people, which are musicians or athletes. And then they start looking at the two most unlikely career paths as their only means to become successful. I feel particularly passionate about that, so I'm sorry if I rambled there for a minute. But I just hate that people like this Amanda Seales are bashing other black people for having dreams and aspirations and believing that they can achieve them. She wants them all to be sad and miserable like herself.